What's going on, Pokemon trainers? Welcome to episode 68 of Gotta Watch 'Em All, the podcast bringing together trainers from every corner of Pokemon fandom before watching along with an episode of Pokemon the series starting all the way back at episode 1. But today, we're going to be watching episode 68, Go West Young Meowth.
I am so excited for this episode.
This is one I've been waiting for, actually. So this is
we
pretty
needed
cool.
This.
Yes. Today is Thursday, June 20th, 2019. I'm one of your hosts, Ken Pescator, joined by my co-host, Adam Tuttle. Adam,
the creepy other voice you just heard.
the other disembodied voice. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
It was Go Fest week. I want to talk about it a little bit. I don't want to go
still
too
recovering.
deep. But yes, I definitely want to get into our experiences because, man, as a Pokemon trainer, this was a very, very busy and exciting week. So
it still is if you're a Pokemon trainer.
Dude, it's always
North American International Championships, it just started, so that's going on too.
It's madness. There's a lot going
madness.
on. All right, little housekeeping really quick. Gotta Watch 'Em All is part of the Pokemon Professor Network. You can support this show by going over to our Patreon at patreon.com/PokemonProfessor, where you can support this show for as little as $1 a month. And that $1 will get you access to our patron-exclusive Discord, which is a fantastic place filled with fantastic people. And I want to give a huge shout-out to our show supporter tier patrons, Brittany J, Matt M. Pitts, Terry David, Chris Sidney, Bacon L, The Noise, Harry, PokeNavBot, Purple Pancakes, Dem Gears Be Bangin', Lady Goobly Meat, and Super Nerd Fox. And a huge thanks to Ash, Tommy, Bobby, and Sana for joining at the Discord tier this week. Thank you guys.
That's so many new people.
Dude, it's been awesome. Thank you guys so much for your support. We really, really do appreciate it. It means the world to us. And I want to give a huge shout out to two people. First, our executive producer, Paul Bott, and our Elite Four patron, Jessica Pfeiffer. Thank you so much, guys.
Woo,
you guys
really rock.
Yeah, you guys are absolutely awesome. All right, on today's show, we're going to get into Pokemon Go Fest just a little bit. We have a cool Weezing Deck that's from Unified Minds. I want to talk about that a bit. Adam will dig into there. The amount of salt that this community still has because of the limited ability to transfer non-Galar Pokemon into, from Pokemon Home into Sword and Shield is crazy. So I want to talk about that briefly. I don't want to harp on the negativity too much. Pokemon.com had an interview with Masuda and Omori. It was E3 week, so we had a lot of new information that came out of E3. We'll talk about that. And then finally, we'll do our watch-along of episode 68, Go West Young Meowth. All right, Adam, let's talk about Go Fest just for a couple minutes here. It was June 13th through the 16th in Chicago, Illinois. We were there. Our day to play was Friday the 14th. We had awesome weather. It was sunny.
Fantastic weather,
it was nice.
To be honest.
Every other day it was nasty and raining, and even to the point where on Saturday the 15th they had to evacuate Grant Park in Chicago and shut down the event for a couple hours, which was nuts. But let's put that aside for a second. Why don't you talk about your experience of the week when you were there? How'd it go for you, man? I'm sure there was a ton of memories made.
Listen, I became a humongous advocate and fan for PvP.
Yes.
Because of the little ladder thing that they had. It was kind of like you got tickets at the tent, you brought them to the line, which went really, really fast. I was expecting it to take a little bit longer, but it's like just the flow and everything. It was super fast. It was super casual, or at least I thought it was. But we started out and I won my first match and I was like, whoa, I was super hyped on it. I was like shaking. And then I got to the second match and I was like, man, I might be able to do this. Like, how could I, do this in one shot? Are you serious? And then I won the next two matches, got to the final stand. I ended up losing, but I still got, the Pokemon t-shirt and the new Amphi, the Amphi
the
earphones.
Funky headphones, which are really cool. It's some cool.
But I had
tech,
an absolute blast, and then I caught. So in Lure Up, I didn't tell anybody the shinies that I got. So I'm just gonna list them off really quickly.
Okay.
I got a Snorunt, a Geodude, a Duskull, a Magikarp, a Machop, a Mischievous, another Geodude, another Sableye. Traded for Clash and Cliff for a shiny Delibird. I got a Larvitar, Sandshrew, another Machop, another Geodude, another Snorunt, three more Psyducks, 2 Horsey, another Sableye, another Snubble, and then Ken, you traded me your shiny Delibird as well.
That's insane. That's absolutely insane. So, I mean, I had a great time as well. It was totally nuts. Melissa and I drove from New Jersey, which was a little crazy, but it was fun. And got to see some nice farms and cows along the way. Drove home through a tornado warning on the way back, which was a little crazy. But yeah, it was good times all around. Friday night, we had our podcast meetup at Monk's Pub in Chicago. Thanks to everyone that came out to that. It was absolutely amazing. We saw, a couple people there on the TCG and the anime side, which was really, really cool. Shouts to you guys. We really do appreciate it. But as far as the Go Fest experience, if you want to hear the full rundown of everything that happened in Chicago for us, check out Lured Up. This last episode that came out, we kind of break down our entire Go Fest experience, dig into the whole thing. It was a really, really good time and fantastic event. I miss Chicago already. Definitely, cannot wait till next year to do it all over again.
Yeah, I may have not gotten pizza this time, but we went to this place called Roots, and they had the handmade, freshly made fried mozzarella sticks, and they were fantastic.
They weren't even sticks; they were like logs.
They were logs. It
was insane.
I'm gonna post a picture on our Instagram, so check that out.
Like good food, man. And it was like a mile from when we were staying, and we didn't go there till the end. We didn't know it was there. It was so.
I would have gone back again.
I would have, absolutely. I think we ordered like $60 worth of appetizers. It was just so good. It was absolutely
phenomenal.
Yeah, we're definitely, if we go back, if it's in Chicago next year, we're going back to that place for show. All right, let's get off of Go Fest really quick. I want to talk about this deck profile of this Weezing deck. It's not typically a card that you would think would be featured, especially with all these fancy, tag team GX cards that have kind of been, the one of the highlights of Pokemon.com over the past couple months even. But Adam, why don't you dig into this deck a little bit? What do you
first,
see here?
You have to know what Weezing does, and it only will make sense once you know what these cards do. So Weezing is an evolution from coughing. Detention Gas is an ability. It says as long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, put 1 damage counter on each of your opponent's basic Pokemon between turns.
Okay, so right out of the gate, its ability is spreading damage.
Correct. And then its attack is for 2 colorless. It does 40 damage, splattering sludge. This attack does 20 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon that has any damage counters on it. So
nice. Okay.
Again, adding to that whole spread. And now there's 2 other key cards that go with this. Spell tag. It says you can only attach to a psychic Pokemon. When this card is attached to a psychic Pokemon and that they're knocked out by damage, you get to place 4 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like.
Wow.
So it might not hit hard, but it does a lot of damage over time. And then you play this with Tapu Lele, just the basic form, not the GX, and you use its attack Magical Swap, and you move all the damage counters around to take your knockouts wherever you want.
Oh, sweet. All right, so this is really cool because this is a mechanic I don't think we've talked about before on the show. And I mean, even damage spreading that goes beyond hitting the active Pokemon and hitting the bench Pokemon. This goes even further than that because every basic Pokemon is going to be affected. Every bench Pokemon will be affected if you run these 2 moves simultaneously. or the ability and the move simultaneously. So that's really cool. This is a pretty cool dynamic, and I guess plain old regular Weezing can put in some work over time because you're going to be able to. Yeah, I guess if it's cool that you run this trio of cards, and if you manipulate it right, and you can get all this stuff off, you can be pretty powerful here. It's pretty cool.
Right, and there's a lot of text in this deck. There's a Honchkrow that has Raven's Claw, so it does 10 damage plus 10 more damage for each damage counter on all of your opponent's Pokemon. So if you don't have enough damage to move around with Magical Swap, you can just place this Honchkrow, and if you've got hundreds of damage down, you do hundreds of damage to the opponent's active Pokemon.
That's crazy, because if someone has a full bench, I mean, even like let's just pretend that they have 5 bench Pokemon, and you're going to put the 1 damage counter on there from the Demolition Gas, right? So that's from the just from the move. Is it demolition gas? Is that the name
Detention.
of it? Detention gas. So detention gas will put 1 counter on all of them. So that's 5 counters there. And then you hit the splattering sludge, and you're doing 20 damage to each of the bench Pokemon. So now you've got 30 damage times 5. That's 150 damage that's on the field. That's insane. That's insane.
It adds up quickly, because I definitely have played this against. I have played against this on PTCGO, and it's intense. Even for a deck that doesn't play GXs, it's still hard to beat, because I'm trying to evolve my Whoopers into Quagsires and get my Poipoles into Naganadel. So it's tough. And then they have Shrine of Punishment. So if you do have any GXs or EXs, they're going to take a damage counter in between turns. So they're already placing damage counters. They're already basics. So the damage just stacks up. And then you run techs like Tapu Koko, which spreads 20 to everything. You run Frost Rotom for any of the fire decks, and that does 10 damage plus 20 for each damage or each energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. So it can add up quick, especially versus fire decks. And then you run Lavatar, which says if your opponent's active Pokemon already has 3 or more damage counters on it, which they most likely will, this attack does 70 more damage. So that's going against something like a Pikarom or a Zoroark GX. So that allows you that ability to one-shot them.
Well, with the Tapu Lele, with the magical swap, I mean, if you've got 150 damage on the board and you could just move it however you want, I mean, pretty much you're going to wipe out any other basic for sure.
Right, and wild. I love using that ability and just moving it over to all their basics or anything that they're trying to use to like help set up.
It's awesome.
Like a Langaroo.
This deck profile is over at Pokemon.com, so definitely I'll put the link in the description. Check it out, because this is pretty awesome. It's a cool mechanic that, it's definitely very different from some of the, even like, most of the GX decks are like these big hard hitters, with the exception of maybe that Venusaur deck we talked about a couple weeks ago, but it's just so different.
Which is dead because of Rushizard.
Oh, yeah.
There's just too much fire in the format. Nothing grass can really survive. It's kind of unfortunate. Metal at least stands a chance, because there's so many cards saying like, hey, reduce damage, and Metal GX, the tag team, it's, hey, reduce 30 damage to all my Metal Pokemon for the rest of the game. Like, okay. That's worth it.
But not for the grass. Sorry.
Not for the grass. And I don't know if 4 weakness policies is gonna win you the game, but it could.
I don't know, but this is really cool. Really cool deck. All right, let's talk about the salt here in the community, because
wait, Ken, are you salty?
So look, I'm not, but
I'm not either.
But this is the thing. We full disclosure, we don't have national decks that we've been building for 20 years. We haven't moved our Pokemon from Red and Blue all the way up through Pokemon Bank and had this, this thought that we were going to be able to day one move things over to home and then, fill out a living decks in Sword and Shield. So just to get everyone up to speed, it came out during the Treehouse event after E3 that the only Pokemon that will be able to be transferred from home into Sword and Shield are going to be Pokemon that are found in the Galar Dex, whatever you want to call it. So
the Galar
Dex. So
you gotta have
Galar. This is definitely not what people were expecting. During the business press conference, when they showed that infographic that showed home and showed the arrows going back and forth for Sword and Shield, there was no asterisk. There was no limitation there. It just looked like it was going to be a wide open thing. And what got people upset was, of course, the fact that they're not going to be able to bring everyone over. But the reasoning that Masuda said in the interview was they had to meet deadlines. And of course they do, right? Of course they do. But for a consumer to hear that as reasoning why something didn't make it to the game, that's definitely just going to get under people's skin. And it totally did, to the point where of course, Pokemon fans are so passionate, especially on the VGC side, where, they're going to say, oh, we're going to boycott this, but they said the same thing with, like, Let's Go. It's like, you know what I mean? It's not a main series game, and it's sold, gangbusters. But you've got, like, these social campaigns that are going around with, like, hashtag, bring back the National Dex, or save the National Dex. People are furious. People are really, really upset. Now, for me, it's like I'll try to look at it from multiple perspectives. I don't have that filled Pokemon bank of things that I was waiting to move over. So I can't speak to that because I don't have those natural inherent emotions of being upset about that because I'm not moving
anything over.
Exactly. So we don't have that. Two,
if anything, it would just be from Pokemon Go.
Right. But again, if they're not in the decks that's in the game, you're not going to be able to move them. Now, pretty much the rumor is that the majority of the Kanto decks will be in there. Alolan Pokemon will be in there. So that's going to help support people that played Let's Go. So the community at large kind of thinks that they're really just pandering to that casual community and have left the hardcore players that have grind and built over the years kind of high and dry. So look, I don't have those old Pokemon, so I can't speak to that. But as someone that covers games media, I understand. I understand why there would be technical limitations, deadline limitations, even though you don't want to hear that. Like 800 plus models, like who knows how many Pokemon are going to be in this dex. But, we're talking 800, 900 Pokemon. This is a lot to manage. Now, Adam and I both come from the Toys to Life background with Skylanders, and Skylanders was able to tackle this where every time they would iterate on the game, the entire roster would move over. But there wasn't 150 or 100 each iteration.
There was like 23 or something like that.
Yeah, so it wasn't that bad. So it's like there is, software limitations, storage limitations, and of course, the developmental time limitation. And it's very easy to just brush that off and say, whatever, you just make it so. But, that's a real thing. So they have deadlines to meet. It's like, and then Masuda also said that there is no plan for this to change. So people are fuming, flipping out.
Now, where I get that, but I still think that with the Dynamax rating, they can always add. You know what I mean?
Additional
they can
Pokemon.
Always add an additional. They can add an event where that's the only way to get it. So
but then you're breaking decks, though. Then you're breaking the decks because they're saying that this is only for Pokemon that are in this region, in this specific dex. So if they bring one Pokemon that's from outside of the current dex, that kind of breaks the whole system. So
okay, all right. I mean, that's just how I look at it. Like, that's how they could add them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
in my head. That's what I keep thinking. Like, if they're really gonna push this forward, that's how they're gonna make it happen. They're gonna make events, and that's how they get the engagement.
Yeah, I just think that if you go outside of the Galar Dex, it's like all or nothing. I don't know. But people are not happy. Let us know how you feel about it. Email us, info@gottawatchemall.com. Let us know if this is really bothering you. Does this not matter to you?
Yeah, please let us know.
Either way, do you get it? Do you understand why this is a limitation? Because no one wants to hear time, no one wants to hear money, but the fact of the matter is that those are harsh realities in game development. And with Animal Crossing getting pushed back, there was no possible way that they were going to push Pokemon back because Animal Crossing got pushed back. So they need their big title for holiday. So I get it, but not the coolest thing. And it's like, look, besides filling out a living dex, like, are you going to use that, Pokemon, that oddball Pokemon from, Gen 4 or something like that, like that's not in the Galar Dex? I don't know. It's just, people are making a big deal about it. I understand they're passionate. I understand they could have their favorite Pokemons that they can no longer get transferred in. But, hey, they could still live in all these other places. They could still live in home. They could still live in their original games. Like, things change. Things happen. But let us know if you've got a salty perspective on this because people are not happy. I'll link to the Polygon.
Even if you have a sweet
article.
perspective, I'll be there too.
Yeah, like if you get it, like if you understand, let us know. All right, like I said, there was an interview with Masuda and Omori at E3. They did the Treehouse event. They sat him down. Now, this is an interview conducted by Pokemon.com. So if you look at it like that, it's a Pokemon.com interviewing Game Freak employees. So it's not like it's people within the direct same organization talking to each other. But Masuda and Omori have this really cool dynamic. Masuda is very quiet and reserved. Omori is a little bit more, I don't want to say animated because he's very stoic, but he's more verbal. He definitely speaks more. So most of the questions kind of were answered by Omori. But I wanted to touch on a couple of the questions that they ask here. The full link will be in the description so you can check out the whole interview. But there was a couple things here that were pretty significant. And this was the question. It said, Pokemon, one of the first things that we wanted to ask about was the theme of Pokemon Sword and Shield. What would you hope the players would get out of their experience? And Omori said, the biggest theme in these games is the idea of being the greatest or the strongest. So this is different. These are different language. They're not using the best. They're not using the best trainer. They're using like these very physical terms, the greatest or the strongest. He goes on to say, I want to
be the best there ever was.
Well, you're also going to have to be the biggest and strongest. But then he also says, we expressed that through the Nintendo Switch being the most powerful system in the Pokemon games I've ever been on before in terms of graphical capabilities and hardware specifications. Also, the Dynamax feature shows how Pokemon become huge and strong. We really want players to feel the idea of strength come through in these games. And, just from reading other articles and other interviews and hearing them speak, the ability for this game to go on a TV screen and you to be able to fill up your big TV with a Dynamax Pokemon, that's kind of that feeling that they really want to get across, where this is more than just a little handheld game. It's more than just a 2x2 screen or whatever it was in the beginning. These are living, breathing Pokemon in your living room on the big screen in HD. It's cool that they're kind of taking that. 4K technology. The Switch definitely does not do 4K. All right, Pokemon.com says, we see you're holding these large plus versions of Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield's first partner program. Just to cut this off for a second, if you watch the actual Treehouse event, they're holding these like 2-scale plushes of all the starters, and they're absolutely fantastic. Absolutely ridiculous. All right, back to the question. What was the thought process behind creating new first partner Pokemon? Are they designed as a first partner from the start, or do you design multiple new Pokemon and then decide which one will become the first partner? I thought this was an interesting question. Omori goes on to say, the way the Pokemon design process works is different each game. But for the Pokemon Sword and Shield process, we first had our planners and concept designers work to come up with the settings for where the first 3 Pokemon will be in the game. They created a text file with the thoughts of what that would be. Then they worked with our artists and designers to come up with designs that would fit that concept. So from the beginning, Scorbunny, Grookey, and Sobble were designed to be these games' first partners. So this was a really cool process. That's why I wanted to talk about it, because they started with the environment, and then the Pokemon were kind of designed, the physicalness of these Pokemon were designed out of what the environment was written, how the environment was written. I thought that was really cool.
Wow, that's really special.
Because, yeah, you would almost think that the first thing you would get is just a sketch, and then you kind of develop a narrative after that. So it was cool to see that this happened,
it's almost like in reverse.
Right. All right, one more question I'll talk about here, only because it has the most Masuda answer possible, which is great. Pokemon.com asks, what elements do you feel are essential to a core Pokemon RPG? It's a heavy question, right? You know what I mean? Especially coming off of Let's Go. Masuda's response, Pokeballs. Come on, dude. Like, really? But no, he elaborates. He says, one of the things about Pokemon in general is that wild Pokemon start out as, they're sort of like enemies. But then when you catch them, they become your friends. So we want to make sure that Pokemon never come across as too evil. They're not just bad guys. They also want to be your friend. Having that kind of relationship, I think, is the key to the series. So it's cool to hear Omori say that they're pushing for that feeling of greatness and strength and all that. But then you have the balance of Masuda saying, but we don't want them to be too evil because they just want to be your friend. And that kind of relationship, that dynamic, that juxtaposition is awesome, because I think that's a really cool metaphor for Masuda and Omori in general. Like, that kind of fits their personas a bit. So I thought that was really cool. But there's a pretty big extended interview on Pokemon.com. I'll link to it in the description. Definitely check it out. Adam, did you get a chance to see the actual gameplay demo that was available on the show floor with the water?
I didn't technically see the demo, but I did see all of the screenshots.
Okay. So Nintendo's booth at E3 had a massive Pokemon presence. They really, did it up. And they had a specific version of the water gym experience available for the public and the press to play. We got to meet Nessa, who's the new water gym leader, who looks phenomenal. Amazing style, super sassy, super confident, super hot. Really, really, really cool design on her. She uses a Dreadnought, which is really neat. And the Pokemon, or the trainers that played, got to experience the gym. And what we've learned and what I've seen through the gameplay is it's almost a blend of a traditional gym from previous games, but also a little bit trial-y like we saw in Sun and Moon, because there is puzzles involved. So you still have to traditionally work your way and battle the 3 trainers on the way to the gym leader. And then, they got to they defeated the 3 gym battlers in there. And then they had this lever puzzle that they had to solve. And once they solved that, then they were able to access Nessa. So it was cool that it kind of lives in between gyms and trials. That was really neat. But Nessa, of course, the battle takes place in this massive stadium. She brings out Dreadnought. The trainers that were playing had 6 Pokemon, and all 3 of the starters, which was really cool. So you were pretty much prepared. They weren't trying to make it easy. They just wanted you to get through it. But Dreadnought comes out. She was, in the battles that I saw, she was pretty aggressive, did 1 attack, and then by round 2, she was Dynamaxing. And, we got to see some really cool moves and how when a Pokemon is Dynamaxed, it kind of gets these max power moves that are going to be different. And then when you beat that and she gives up the badge, it was really cool. But this kind of goes right into the next thing I wanted to talk about, which was this really cool article on IGN about what kind of, what news we saw coming out of E3. And one of the things that a lot of people were not necessarily upset about, but shocked, is Z moves are gone. There's no Z moves. So you had this amazing, awesome mechanic that people really ended up liking in Sun and Moon.
Well, they kind of replaced it with the Dynamaxing, to be honest.
Well, sure. But no Mega Evolutions either. So
Best opportunity.
Well, you got to look at it like this. A lot of people are going to be coming over from Let's Go. And Let's Go had Megas. So they're going to lose that. You have the core audience coming over from Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, which had Z moves. There's no Z moves. So it's definitely a little weird. The new, but again, there's, you think of things like secret bases and stuff. Like things have always iterated and have always gone away. So it's just part of the evolution process, no pun intended. But, I'm all about Dynamaxing. I think it looks phenomenal. I cannot wait to try this. It's very exciting, and I know that it's going to be very attractive to the Go players. And, however way you want to look at it, the Go players are where the numbers are. That's the highest concentration of trainers right now. So, they have something that they can latch on to because it's familiar. They're kind of used to it. That's really good. All right, but this article on IGN I think it was 21 things we learned from E3. I don't have all 21 here, but I picked some of the ones that
best ones
were the best ones.
All right, we got 2 new Pokemon.
Did you see the new Pokemon? Did you see the new Pokemon?
Yes. Oh my God, Yamper.
Yo, I'm all about Yamper.
He's an electric type corgi, and he's got the cutest little butt.
He's got a cute butt with a heart on his butt.
He's got a cute butt. No, honestly, that's my favorite. Honestly, Yamper. It's I love corgi dogs. So and I'm partial an electric dog. That's so cool.
And it's a new ability too. It has a first new ability of the game that we've learned. It's called Fetch, where if you throw a Pokeball and it misses, it'll actually retrieve the ball for you. So
that is awesome.
like, I don't know the mechanics of how it works. Like, does the ball then become the held item? Can it hold an item in addition to the Pokeball? We don't really know those
I
details
don't know.
yet.
I would assume that it only does it once, just because otherwise you just have infinity Pokeballs. You know what I mean? Like, you just keep throwing
well, I
them
guess
and
you retrieve that ball at the end of the match. Like, I don't think you could retrieve it at the end of the turn because, then you just have infinite supply. That'd be cool, though.
Yeah.
All right, what about Impidimp?
Oof, I don't know. Mixed feelings.
It's Dark Fairy, though. Cool typing.
It reminds me a little bit of if Poipole and Sableye had a baby.
Okay, I could see that. Well, but
I like Sableye better.
And Sableye are good-looking Pokemon.
So, yeah. I mean, I'm excited that we got to see a second Pokemon. I'm just not sure if that's the one I wanted to see.
Just give me more Yamper, and I'm okay.
Give me a Yamper's evolution, and I'll be happy.
Oh man, I want Dynamax Yamper, and I want to pan the camera around to its butt.
Okay, there you go. Fair.
All right, run down some of these bullet points for us.
Okay, so weather in the wild area will not impact battles, only the spawns in those areas.
Right.
You can whistle in the wild, kind of like Breath of the Wild. I literally do that at work all the time to make Pokemon come closer to you.
Well, they show
fantastic.
like I don't know if it was a Pidgey or something, like flying really high, like 20 feet off the ground, and then the trainer whistled and the bird came down. So that's kind of cool.
I don't know. I just saw a screenshot at like a meme, and it was like it showed a Machoke like running at the character.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh god, that's so.
It was
weird.
it was something like, in this game, Machoke will chase you down and kick your butt.
But then in the wild area, you may have Pokemon that are twice your level, which is
cool.
Fantastic.
Yep.
So it's going to be really a big challenge for you. You can fish in the wild area. Wycom is the name of the system used to interact with trainers in the wild area. The red beacons indicate a Pokemon den and max raid battles.
Yep, that's cool.
So I'm pumped about that. And then you've got Dynamax Pokemon can use multiple moves in one turn.
Yeah, I haven't seen this, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we haven't seen it, but imagine that, like, you have all four of your characters and then you all get hit like multiple times.
Yeah.
With like a blizzard attack. I don't know. When a Pokemon is KO'd in a raid, the trainer can still help the team by cheering.
Yes.
So that's cool. You're still part of the team.
Yep.
All trainers in the max raid battle will have the chance to catch the Dynamax Pokemon plus to get the items.
It's like it's like Pokemon Go.
Yes. So think of just a normal raid where everybody gets, different items, but they all get like rare candies and potions and TMs and all that jazz. Pokeball Plus cannot be used as a controller. There is a pro controller support though.
All right, this is one of the biggest things for me by far, because my biggest gripe about Let's Go was that I could not play it with the Pokeball Plus. I could not play it with the Joy-Cons. Just did not work for me. So I would be forced to play it in handheld mode. I don't like playing in handheld mode. I wanted to play it on the TV, but I would need a pro controller, and I couldn't do it. So I never played it as much as I should have. So the fact that this is supporting pro controller is absolutely awesome for me, and I know that alone is going to allow me to play much, much more of this game than if I was forced to use like the Joy-Cons, because my hands are just too big for that. It just doesn't work. It's just so uncomfortable.
The Swapper is really big. My hands are just really tiny.
Yes. All right, we're going to take a quick break really quick. When we come back, we're going to watch our episode, Go West, Young Meowth.
Go East, go East.
It sounds so deep. It sounds like such a deep episode.
It is a deep episode.
It is. There's a lot of development
It is.
here.
It's wicked.
All right,
deep.
we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll watch our episode. We'll be back right after this.
Hold up, everyone. Are you ready for a sing-along? Slowpoke in a reggae style. Pokemon. Come in. Slow. What your story, Slowpoke?
Let's talk about this episode. Japanese air date. November 12th, 1998 as episode 70. In the US, it aired October 9th, 1999 as episode 68. Go West Young Meowth. If you're keeping score, this is episode 16 of the Orange Islands arc. But yeah, let's get into this sucker. You Adam? You ready, Adam?
Oh, I was born ready.
All right, let's start this puppy up in 3, 2, 1, go. So, my son has been watching Sun and Moon, and he watches it in the morning. So it's like when I'm making him breakfast, I'm side eyeing it. Like I try to.
You're peeking in.
Yeah. I don't want to pay too close attention, But he got me. He started to this dialogue of like, hey, when Sword and Shield comes out, are we going to see the Sword and Shield come to the current anime? And I'm like, of course. And it brought up like, what's going to be the first Pokemon of Dynamax? Are they going to make it Pikachu?
Oh,
like,
man.
You know what I mean? Like, who's going to be the first one? It's got to, like, I
it's
told
going to
him,
be Wooloo.
Well,
it's a fan favorite. It's going to be Wooloo.
What if Hop, who's Leon's younger brother, your rival, whatever Pokemon that Hop uses, maybe that'll be the one, and then that's kind of will spark the battle, I don't know.
Hop used Wooloo.
Gotta catch
I think it's Wooloo, and I think Wooloo is the first thing that we're gonna get in Go. Spoiler alert! That's what's gonna happen,
dude. That's a whole nother argument. That's a whole nother conversation. We'll have that on Lured Up.
All right, Ash and Brock are
battle
on
music,
the deck.
but listen, battle music. Why do they start with battle music and then they show like calisthenics?
They're just working out.
Pikachu's like barely bending.
Misty's inside on the couch drinking tea. And Mime's just
Mr.
sweeping
Mime's
the grass
sweeping
again.
the grass.
Speedy delivery.
It's an invitation.
Oh,
it looks like one of Pele Pogo's
invited to attend the
postcards.
world premiere screening of the exciting new motion picture event Pokémon in Love in Hollywood, California.
Okay, so we got to talk about this really quick.
Oh, is that Rhyme City?
I know, right? It looks like Rhyme City. But they mention Hollywood here. So this is that weird break in the canon of like they mention real life stuff. So it's like they know Hollywood. So does that mean they know America? Like what? It's just one of those things, I guess.
And Ash was like, "No, I gotta stay here and train."
Yeah,
and they're like,
right.
"Okay,
Yeah,
that's fine."
yeah.
And he's like, "No, I'll go with you guys."
Yeah, he twisted my arm.
I just can't wait to go to the gala premiere of this movie.
But I didn't get an invitation. Did you?
Oh, Team Rocket, they did not get an invitation.
But
But they're in the city.
yeah, I love this. I love the way that they did this with the audio and everything. It sounds really, really cool.
Our ticket to Hollywood superstardom. And soon
Oh, look at the animation. It looks so good.
contracts and fan mail.
We might even.
Oh my god, I love the way they
James's
look. I
eyes.
love the way they look. So kawaii.
Action.
And they did shadows and lighting.
No, yeah, this whole part is animated awesome. And coming up, I'll reference it again. But there's another character that they show. Not too much, but there's another character that's drawn super well in this episode. I'll make sure I bring it up when we see him.
Bittersweet one, like a cheap chocolate bar.
So
Like a cheap chocolate bar.
we've talked about in the past how they always give so much backstory to Meowth. He's got to be the most developed character in this entire show. It's like they don't even give us this much back history on Ash. And it's like there's been multiple episodes where we're like learning factoids about Meowth.
Basically, Meowth tells us that he was poor and that he was digging for food and he thought baseballs were some rice cakes.
Yo,
because
and
he
then
stole-
what's wrong with this baseball team? They string him up to a tree.
They're gonna hit him like a piñata.
That's messed up, coach. They just leave him.
Cried and finally cried myself to sleep.
He cried and cried and cried himself to sleep. What?
Me up.
I'm telling you, Meowth is the most developed character here. So, temporary movie theater, impromptu movie theater set up in the forest. I don't even know what he said is the name.
I'll
What?
never forget what I saw on that screen.
So you gotta remember, this is young Meowth. This is the namesake of the episode, so he's still a baby here.
Ice cream.
But all he had to see was ice cream. to get motivated to do something with his life.
Well, he saw like a turkey leg too.
Fried chicken. Ice cream and fried chicken.
Go West Young Meowth.
All right, there's the
Go
namesake.
West Young Meowth.
Hollywood. The
That's
place
like
where there
E.T..
was ice cream and fried chicken waiting just
Those were like Smash Brothers sound effects they used there.
Yep.
I hitched my dream to a truck headed for Hollywood.
And that's so funny. Isn't that the yokai watch? Like the, I don't know, one of the characters has that like bag.
I don't know.
That's, I don't know. I feel like it does.
I'm getting swept up in
Yo,
all
look
the
at this
excitement.
Marilyn Monroe reference.
Right?
How's Brock not looking? Oh, she's not really there.
And they're just in this rundown city.
Is this
Like,
where
what?
the premiere is? I don't believe it. What a dump.
I love it. Like, what a dump. It is Rhyme City.
Basically, the zombie apocalypse happened, and that's what this looks like.
This block looks pretty busted to me.
Now let's see. According to this map, the theater should be right around
Brock and his
here.
maps.
This must be the place.
It's a busted theater.
This is the place where motion picture history is
What was this guy's name again?
Get ready for the Gala World premiere of Cleveland Spielberg's
Cleveland
Cleveland
Spielberg.
Spielberg. I don't know.
You sure ain't the town it used to
So
be.
I love Meowth in the trench coat.
Yeah, Meowth's like in like a detective kind
There are
of.
things you don't know about me. Things I like to keep private.
He's got private life, yo. Don't
You two
creep
go
on
ahead.
Meowth.
I'll be back before the movie. I got some personal business to take care of.
They're just
It's
so
very
confused.
cinematic.
They're like, what?
Looks like this part of town's fallen on hard times. But times were
And he's like
always
talking to
hard.
himself in third
At
person,
least
so
for
it's
me.
like
Hamburgers, hot dogs, ice cream.
it really feels like it's like a movie.
I didn't even think of that. You're right. You're right. It does kind of have that progression.
You got the flashbacks. You've got the talking to himself while just walking down the street.
Colder than the ice cream I craved. Nobody cared about a young, hungry Meowth. My life was at a dead end.
My life
Or
was
was
at a
it?
dead end.
It's a bunch of shiny Aaron.
With the red eyes.
All right, can we take a moment to celebrate Persian's meow? Because it's absolutely ridiculous. It happens multiple times in this episode. It sounds like the person that was supposed to record just like took the day off and they just asked a rock to do it. It's like meow meow meow. Get out of here, cats!
There's a whole like litter of cats. Little litter of Meowths.
But look how happy he is. He's had his fried chicken. He's the happiest cat ever.
But I was still starving.
But he was still starving.
Well, we all know how much Meowth can eat.
And then I met
There it is. The big day. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Stop time. So
Lock eyes from across the room.
Well, this is cool because, again, further developing Meowth, we're seeing a side of him that we're not used to seeing, which is just really cool because it's
He
constantly
fell in
taking
love,
abuse.
ran across the road, and literally caused the biggest accident.
How funny is it hearing Meowth just do like non-ironic meowths? What? All right, so this is what I was talking about with the animation style. So, you know, when you see her, this, you know, look at that. That's a totally different look. That's
Diamond encrusted Pokeball?
yeah, but the animation and the look of her, the way it's drawn is definitely more of an aggressive anime style than we're used to.
in Meowth land.
But yes, diamond
Did you
encrusted
see her
Pokeball.
thumb though? It was like sideways.
She can buy me anything I want. And what are you? You're not rich. You're not even human. You're just a street Meowth.
Street
You'll
Meowth.
never be.
That
You're just
that
a
should be
street
Meowth's
rat.
name from now on. It's just Street Meowth.
Look at her
I
lips.
was gonna say, whoa.
Jeez. They go literally from one side of her face to the other.
You know, there would be good trivia. I wonder if that license plate had any relevance.
If I wanted
Yeah, it was
Gotta
like
look on Bulbapedia.
a human.
58, yeah.
Who's that
It's Ekans!
It's Pikachu!
It's
Oh, no.
Why doesn't Onyx say his name? Just goes.
Because you keep coming back.
This place had changed a lot too.
So it's cool to see Meowth kind of
Reliving the glory
reliving
days.
this stuff because, and then it's like you see these dancers, you're like, where am I? What is like? How is this relevant? But what we learned about Meowth is awesome.
So he's watching these ballerina dancers, or ballet dancers, and then he's trying to do them.
Well, he's trying to figure out how to walk on 2 feet.
So I learned to walk like a person. A weird person, but a person.
A weird poison.
A weird
But a
Python,
poison.
but a Python.
I could walk on 2 legs.
I'm gonna get you this time, you creepy little cat burglar.
But I couldn't run
So,
fast enough.
purposeful pun there. Called him a cat burglar.
And that's when I learned to
But look, this is the determination of Meowth. He's totally shot. He's totally, gets beat up all the time from, getting caught stealing.
Shells by the seashore.
meow.
But he refuses to give up. He continues to practice his English through the floor.
Meowth, meowth, meowth. Oh, and the first thing he sees is a rocket.
Well, that's why he was attracted to the Team Rocket.
Under the evening sky with the moon
Like, what's up with this, dude?
I
Like, you hear this song, right?
Yeah.
What? But you know that he's really singing it in just Meowth language.
Hold my head up high and she'll want me. Wait and see.
So again, we're seeing another side of Meowth. Why is it always Meowth?
Write poetry and recite it myself.
That's such a proud thing to say. I'm gonna write poetry and recite it myself. It's like, oh, congratulations.
So I kept running and I kept getting caught. But I got a little faster every day.
Yo, Meowth is battered.
By the seashore.
She sells seashells by
And I want to know, what place is this that they're doing like ballet and then English lessons through? It's like, what?
Well, it was just an abandoned building is what it looked like now, I guess. But he had the flashback and it looked open, so it might be a dance studio.
But why are they doing tongue twister English lessons?
I didn't know what seashells were, but I was finally.
You see what I'm saying? He doesn't know what they are. That's so cute, though.
To figure out the alphabet.
R for rocket.
Rocket. If that hadn't been
R is for
the
rah,
voice
rah,
I
rocket.
understood,
T is for prepare for trouble.
And D is for make it double.
I might not
So-
have joined the illustrious Team Rocket.
This is
Now we know why he
significant
joined.
backstory here.
H for
Significant backstory.
M for marriage. And M is for Meowsy.
Meowsy.
D, E, F, G, H, I, J.
And then the alphabet with meow.
But you see that he's doing ballet. I love that part where he's like doing ballet, and remember, while he was learning English, he was watching people learn ballet.
Meowsy.
Yo, Meowth's a stud, bro. Look, you brought flowers.
I can stand on 2 legs just like a human does. And I can talk human talk too.
But does she understand human talk?
I bought these flowers just for you. Huh?
Granted, like, I just don't. It's so weird.
What's so human about you? Look at yourself. You make
Yeah, he's translating her voice in a silly accent.
dirty street Meowth with no money. You're worse than before.
Oh,
Now
man.
freak.
Yo, she's messed up.
Was crushed.
What?
She's messed up, bro.
He went through all of that just to be crushed? Ugh. I feel your pain, bro.
I do.
I feel
I'm
your
so sorry,
pain.
Meow.
Thinks I'm a freak, does she? Well, I'll show her.
The bindle stick.
Most powerful freak she ever saw, and she'll come crawling back to
Look at those eyebrows. He's mad.
That was the last I
He's
ever
mad,
saw
man.
of Meowsy. Hollywood or my old gang.
So-
I joined up with Team Rocket to become rich and powerful.
What I still need to know
Just never
is
came
where
through.
is this Hollywood? Where is Hollywood in relation to anything else? Like is part of it canon? Like, I don't know.
Hiya, bud.
But good thing I
wonder what could be keeping that meow.
it's,
He said he'd be back in time for the movie.
like now we're starting to get the hint of how much Team Rocket actually does care about Meowth.
So you want me to join the old gang again?
Listen to the meow.
I can walk and talk like a human, so I guess I can pretty valuable to your operation. Ain't that right?
What? Who are you, Persian?
Point you, pal, but I'm sticking with Team Rocket.
No, you're not.
You're not gonna change it.
Meow, what's so funny?
Get him, Meowths. Oh, Meowsy. What?
It can't be. Meowsy, what are you doing here?
You traitor. So now we get a little bit more backstory.
Happened.
Well, he's a detective. Detective Meowth. This should be a movie, not Detective Pikachu.
Meowsy dear, we need to talk.
Look, she's no like her Pokeball is no longer diamond crusted.
My money has nearly run out. I wish I could keep you, but I'm sure you can fend for yourself. I have to. Good luck, darling.
So she's like
That's Pokemon
skipping
abuse.
town.
I'm gonna report you right now. And pollution to the environment. And all these dude Meowths are like, hey.
Hey, Meowsy. But
You didn't want to join, did you?
How much time do you think has passed since Meowth left Hollywood till now?
You're not thinking of staying with them, are you?
Can't be that long, right?
At least a year, at least, because they've been through how many? Yeah, they've been through all 8 badges.
Right now.
Yeah. And who knows how long Meowth was with Team Rocket before that, you know, Ash's first day on the job, you know?
Yeah.
Yo, Meowth ain't scared of Meowths. Alright, maybe a little. This is great.
Oh, listen to that bass line.
I know, it's great. It's so bad and ridiculous at the same time. What?
Jesse.
Why? Why did they do that?
Hey guys, did you really come here to rescue me?
We may be mean and nasty, but we never turn our backs
So,
on a teammate in trouble.
Again,
As long as we're not exposed.
I like how they're on like VHS, like VCRs, and like
it's like
cassette
old
tape
waste,
players.
yeah.
We saw you with this scruffy-looking gang.
So we followed you here just in case.
We
But you
can't
see,
let
it's like
anything
they
bad
really
happen
do
to
care
us.
about Meowth. As much crap as they give him, and they're always bonking him on the head or whatever, like they really do care about him.
It's so nice to have real
Look at the one ear falling
We'll
down.
take care of this gang. Go Arbok!
Well, ride or die, yo. They're like, whatever, we're down. We're down to battle real quick. And what I thought was cool about this part too is like they deploy their Pokemon, so they like take them out of the balls, but it's a wild encounter that they're dealing with, you know, because of the black fog.
Strange.
Yeah. Epic music. I like the color palette here
Yeah,
too.
with like some trumpets.
This is
going
very
on.
anime. This is like very anime style. Shishing. It's like Battle Arena Toshinden.
Ooh. And like the Lion King reference with the sun.
I was a little nervous here. But Meowth takes
Nice
out
try.
Persian.
But where's it?
Rosie, I'm okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he runs right past.
Poor Meowth.
Father, you can't die.
They're in shock. Like, it's so funny. Like, they're just like did this battle to like save pretty much.
She says that the poison took her in and helped her.
Oh, that's so messed up, Meowth. I'm sorry.
Well, it would be right to leave for you because you put so much time and effort into her and got nothing in return.
Yeah, but he also left for X amount of time though.
Maybe so.
and the walking and the talking freaks her out, so.
Yeah, well, you know, you would think that would freak out every and any Pokemon.
Then it cuts to the movie theater.
Yeah, the
There's
empty
only the
abandoned
gang.
theater.
What do you think? I've done it again, haven't I? I've given birth to a new cinematic masterpiece.
How far is Hollywood from Kanto?
Anywhere in that whole movie. Neither did I.
Yeah,
I need
where
to
were
know.
we?
I'm pretty sure I saw what looked like a shot of Pikachu and Togepi from behind, but only for a second. Pika?
So
We all must sacrifice for
the whole point of them getting invited to the premiere was because they took part in it.
It hurt us even
But
more.
apparently
If we
they didn't
aren't
make
even
it.
in the movie, I don't know
That's
why
messed
you
up.
invited us to come see the
Yeah.
premiere.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't get any movie stars to
Look at
come,
this guy. He's a total sham.
so I decided to invite all the little people.
If you wanted
Messed
stars
up.
to come,
Then you should have invited us.
to protect
So,
the world from
it's-
devastation.
I guess that what they had just said could count as an intro. Like they got like a little creative with it today.
To extend
Yeah,
knowledge to the
and
stars
Jesse and James,
above.
and like with the
Right,
lighting
right.
and the like the coloring and stuff for that,
Team
the
Rocket
animation.
blast off at the speed of light.
And Jesse and James are in like magician outfits right now.
To talk to my agent.
That's showbiz.
All right, I could dig the variation on the motto.
We just
I
like to
guess
do our part to preserve
that's
musical
showbiz.
theater.
Come on.
Now it's time for the finale.
See you all next time.
Looks like Team Rocket's dancing.
That looks so weird.
Oh my
They
god!
literally
like just
are
the
the only
audio for
people in
that.
the whole theater.
The audio on James though, like you gotta reverse that and like listen to it again. Looks like we're rocking off the stage again.
So dumb.
I wonder what Meowth is thinking as he gazes at the night sky.
So listen to
All right,
the
narrator.
narrator's voice here. It's so
Maybe
soothing.
Meowsie's looking at the moon too.
Somewhere. Hey, that was a 5-0 reference. Out there. That's from 5-0.
Don't go away.
All right.
Don't go away. Who's that Pokemon is coming back again?
No. All right. So I want to talk about two things.
It's
here.
Pikachu!
I want to talk about two things here. It starts off battle music, right? Battle theme. Starts off with them saying they got to get motivated to train. They're training. By the end of the episode, the only battle is not even between Team Rocket and Ash. It's Team Rocket and wild Pokemon. What? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I just want real battles. Can I just have gym battles, please?
Well, or you know how like Kirby's Dream Land or whatever has that one game. I don't even know if it's Kirby's Dream Land, but All Stars or whatever. They have that one game where you push A like really quickly when you
Okay.
to draw. Like that's also what that scene reminds me of, where it's like draw. It's
Draw.
like,
Yep. Quick fire.
quick fire.
I don't know, man. I think I've just grown exceptionally impatient because I just want battles and not just
Yeah,
these
but I'm okay
throwaway
without the battle
battles.
this
I want,
time
like,
because I
real
got
battles.
to know my Meowth a little bit more, and I have more appreciation for Meowth now. Makes me want shiny Meowth and Pokemon Go a little bit more. But just
I don't know.
Meowth.
I don't know.
If you evolve it into Persian, it just doesn't you don't get the shiny.
Yo, what was up with Persian's meow? Meow, 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 meow. So bizarre. All right, well, let us know what you thought of this episode. I don't know. I hate when they tease me with battles and then by the end, you think they're coming and all of a sudden the credits are rolling. It's like, man, another episode goes by with no battles. The only thing that's going to make me feel better is a booster.
I love all the audio in this episode.
Yeah,
Like
it was good.
that ending there with the Meowth battle with like the trumpets, like that was intense.
Yeah,
And
no,
James
it
is
was
saying-
definitely scored good. It definitely
Yeah.
scored well. But
This
Adam,
is
you
a
have a booster?
fantastic episode. I do. It's Unbroken Bonds.
I have one too.
Oh my god, can we guys give us the shiny vibes?
I have a green
Give us-
code. No.
Ugh. You're not supposed to tell what the code is.
All right, you ready? I'm going.
I'm ready.
Torracat, Poliwhirl, Gloom, Aron, Sandshrew, Ghastly, Tangela, Venonat. My reverse is a Wooper, and my rare is a non-hollow Mewtwo.
Ooh, wait, what? A Mewtwo? I haven't even seen that, so.
Mind Report ability. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may put a supporter card from your discard pile to the top of your deck. That's pretty cool. All right, what do you got?
All right, I have a White Code,
Uh-oh.
a Drowsy, a Cubone, a Crabrawler, a Sandile, Oddish, I have a Stealthy Hood. I have a Happiny. I have a Welder. My reverse holo is a Krabalera. My rare is a holo Vikavolt.
Okay, you got a holo.
Stealthy body.
Yeah, take it. Take it.
That is so cool. I don't know. I just read the Charger bug where it says like you can use this as a like 2 lightning energies if you attach it from your hand to
isn't that
like
cool?
a Vikavolt. Like what?
Yeah, it's a cool mechanic. All right, well you got a holo. That's good. That's strong.
I got a holo. I didn't
it.
have it, so it's definitely worth it for the collection.
All right, but other than that, Adam, that's gonna wrap things up.
That's going to wrap it up.
It's going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for checking us out. If you made it this far, we really, really, really appreciate it. Please leave us a review in iTunes. Shoot us an email, info@gottawatchemall.com. Check out gottawatchemall.com for everything that we're doing. And check out all the links in the description. Let us know what you think of the Weezing deck. Let us know if you got salt because of the decks in Sword and Shield. Let us know. We definitely want to know. But
just talk to us. We want to talk to you.
Yes. Yes. Please. But other than that, that's going to wrap everything up. Keep training, trainers. We will see you next week. So long.